cranking up the live stream. So I want to welcome all my aliens, apes, and zombies. Please retweet the room. Anita, good to have you down there, my friends. And Wara, good to have you down there as well. Retweet the room. We got a great one for everyone today. You can see the lineup. We are actually broadcasting this live as well. I'm going to see if I can pull that, or I am going to pull that up on Paris Shilton NFT, and we can watch what we're all talking about, because we sometimes pull up graphs, we flip through art, sometimes we look through. We'll probably be looking at the nouns, Barry's proposal. So you can look up there. I'm pulling in Avery Piper. We got Craig back. We got Ian back. Friends again back listening. And I'm just going to push a couple buttons here, as I like to say, and find Paris Shilton, or you can just put in NovoVerse. AP, sound check. How you doing, my friend?
Sound check 1 2. I'm doing fantastic. Excited to be here and chat.
Perfect. I'm going to post it up on the top. We got Paris Shilton. What this is a restreaming network that can post it on Instagram. Excuse me, not Instagram. I can post it on formerly known as Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, which I'm seeing right now if it's actually posting on my LinkedIn, because you should be able to stream this live on LinkedIn. So check out LinkedIn, where I'm actually adding content there as well. With Avery Piper in 2 and 4, we had a little 2 minute and 4 minute podcast, 2min4sec podcast, which is interesting, and we'll get to. So maybe we'll end with Avery Piper, but we'll do a quick little round of intros. Who wants to kick it off? We'll kick it off. I'll kick it off right now. I'm Crypto Novo, live from Chicago. I'm going to pass it from one end of the hemisphere to the other end of the hemisphere, where right now it is a little cold, windy. I saw some snowflakes sitting in the stands at Soldiers Field, watching the Bears on to victory. But I'm going to pass it over to a good friend Craig, who's actually in a heat wave right now. He was actually asking if you can hear a fan in the background, because it is so hot. You left cheese out, it would turn into fire.
Yeah, man. What's up, everyone? Yeah, I'm busy cooking eggs on my bonnet on the car at the moment. It's hot as hell here, man. I'm in Australia, for those who don't know. Craig's coin purse, or Craig, for whoever hasn't heard me before. I suppose I'm your resident DGen, trying to find where we can make a little bit of money in this market, which is red hot at the moment, like the weather here. So, guys, happy to be here. Hopefully we can talk about some cool stuff. The market's looking good. So, well, actually, it was looking good till about an hour ago, and then had a little bit of a dump, but that's just part of the game. But hey, guys, happy to be here, and I'll pass it on.
Before the pass on, I actually made an entry on the dip, so we'll pass it on to Ian. Sometimes it's time to make an entry before the next rally up, but none of this is ever financial advice. Just talking with my friends, and you guys are all listening, and you guys are all my friends. What's up, JRR Token? I hope all is well, my friend. Ian, how are you? Ian, good. We got some good news going on. What's going on with you?
Man, just a lot of good things. Hey, everybody. My name's Ian Hedrick. I'm the executive director of the City Farmers Program. We're an urban agriculture research and development nonprofit partnered with the Public Health Institute of Metropolitan Chicago. So, yeah, just enjoying the literal freezing temperatures here, kind of wishing it was hot enough I could cook eggs on the boot of my car. And, otherwise, we've got a announced DAO proposal coming up here in the next week. Waiting on our sponsors to get over their hangovers from Art Basel so we can get it on chain, right? But yeah, really exciting stuff with that. And otherwise, just love talking about the markets and macroeconomics. I'm definitely not a financial advisor, but the bigger term picture is something that's really interesting to me, and enjoy having those conversations. So excited to be here with you guys.
Year-round farming in Chicago. We don't have to stop growing just because it's cold. We can continue to do it. Countless opportunities with that. And over to AP from 2 and 4, good friend. We've been working on a couple things. First, a little intro about yourself, and what we've been working on.
Well, I am nothing without the ecosystem of Crypto Novo. So those two things go hand in hand for me. But yeah, my name is Avery Piper. I have a brand called 2 and 4, where I quite literally drawn t-shirts, and I design them custom for people. I enjoy doing that very much. It's a part of a larger project, which is of 24 t-shirts, which all have a C word on the inside that leads to a wallet or multiple wallets. And those shirts all, when combined, also make a poem. There's a bunch of stuff behind that, but NFT hopefully will get delivered within the next, a couple of months. Let's see what happens. I'm speaking to a few people and working on t-shirts, but that's who I am, and that's what I've been working on. And as Novo mentioned, also working on the short form podcast, which is very exciting for me because I get to catch up with people, some friends. Would love to have the other two gentlemen on. That is also on your podcast. Novo, I'm going to steal all of your guests, and we'll do some recording then too. So super excited about a bunch of stuff, and especially hearing about now stuff going on and with Craig got going on. I think this is a good spot for me to be in because I get to learn and get to pretend like I know what I'm doing.
So those of you who are listening right now in Spaces, you can tap that button ahead of you. Paris Shilton, they'll actually watch what we're talking about. Definitely retweet the room, get other people who are either traveling back from Art Basel or maybe pounding that water because they had maybe too many. There you go. AP's got the water there. Maybe they had too many adult beverages when they were in Miami. Or maybe they sat in too much traffic when they were down there. But retweet the room, invite your friends in. And then also, like, if you want to have a 2min4sec podcast with Avery Piper, just DM 2 and 4, and that's _2 and 4, the word and in between there. And you can get it on the 2-minute podcast. It's actually, we're looking at it right now. Actually, I could probably just pin it up on the top tweet, but it was in the main tweet for advertising for this very show. So take a look at that. You can also be part of the action, which is the also best part. Feeling good. Found a comic book today. Flea market finds, as I call, on my minds. I'll just pin it up there on the top because this is kind of fun to see what else is out there in the world. And Gary V replied back with like epic.
Cool.
Little bit of an epic find. It was the first furry beast, Amazing Adventures number 11. It had a $20 sticker on it, and I talked the person down 10%, $20 cash to walk out of there with that book. So you always got to negotiate a little bit within those ranks. And I guess here's a question that we can kind of get going. If you had 2 minutes and 4 seconds to ask someone a question, because a lot of people are very busy nowadays, maybe what would that question be? It could be a common question of this or that. And I'll say it's like, I'll call the time frame, like maybe sometime like in the morning, like the first time you're greeting or meeting someone. And I'll just put it out there. And so, yeah, we'll go around the horn. I'll start off. First question, like I would ask someone if I had like 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And, maybe it'd be a semi-famous person you could put in your minds. But, what do you eat for breakfast every morning would be my question I would ask at that particular person. And, maybe putting them on the spot. Maybe there's just be a cup of coffee that they're going to go for. AP, you like to be put people on the spot with these 2 minutes second questions. So I'm going to put you.
I love it.
One question that you would ask someone. I don't know. It could be anyone, just off the top.
Yeah. I think, I'm kind of addicted to learning about how people approach life and specific instances, like if this happened to you, or if you're only given 2 minutes and 4 seconds for the rest of your life, what would you do? Who would you call? I think maybe getting a bit of context into the person's soul, like I really want to know what drives somebody. So I think any kind of question around that, I have a hard time formulating that now. And part of the podcast that I'm doing is I like to do research on the person and then ask them specific stuff, especially if they know me and I know them, I can really get deep right away. But I think peering into the soul of someone is quite a desire of mine that is insatiable. So I'm always looking for what's the thing I can ask that really gives me a good picture about why someone does what they do. So maybe a question would be, why do you do what you do?
That's good. I mean, that's a very similar question that you asked me. You can take a look at the pinned tweet at the top with the 2-minute and 4-second podcast. If you don't have time for anything, you should probably have too much time for 2-minute and 4-minute podcast for sure. I mean, I guess we'll go over to Craig next. And a lot of people ask you for maybe meme coins or different coins to look into. And that's kind of even why I posed the question like APE versus PEPE. You don't have to answer that, but what question would you maybe ask someone if you only had 2 minutes and 4 seconds for the time, even if you knew the person you're going to ask? Like I would like to ask Bob Marley, where's your hidden records or something like that. You can even pose like who you're asking as well.
Yeah, cool. I got one for you. I'd ask Led Zepp the meaning of Stairway to Heaven.
Wow, that's a great one.
Yeah,
wow,
there's a few lyrics in there. I love that song. That's my teenage years, and there's some lyrics in there. I'd love to know what the hell they're talking about. But
oh yeah,
sounds cool.
Maybe they were so high they wouldn't know either.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think it might be a lot of juice stuff, but yeah, that's probably one of the more exciting or cool questions. Like another one, if I could be greedy, would probably be a high performance person like Elon Musk or something like that, and how they structure their day. Like Avery mentioned, he'd ask what drives them. That would probably be my first question. My second one would be
He checks DOGE first thing in the morning. That's what he does.
Yeah. How do you structure your day? Like how's your performance output so great? They must be structured, I'm sure. I just love to know how, because I find myself wasting so much time. I'd love to know how they avoid that.
That's great. And what if Led Zeppelin came back and says, oh yeah, we didn't write that song, we borrowed it. They just got a litigation for like seeing if they should or not, but just a joke. I love that. That is a great question for that. And then also for like that executive on top, what's how do you structure your day? That's kind of, I was like thinking like, what do you eat for like breakfast in my mind? Because you can tell a lot by a person of like, I like to sit down and have a meal, or like I do the same thing every day. And if people have time to talk to you about their breakfast and they actually explain their breakfast, I think you can get a lot into it rather than someone just says cup of coffee and walks away. Then like it's kind of either the person's having a bad day or he's always on the go because he needs a cup of Joe.
I thought they might be from New York or something if they said that.
Yeah, and it probably does depend who you ask regionally that question and what that answer would be. That's very interesting. AP, you might want to look into that. Like what question, maybe ask a common question to people in different time zones and see how they answer that,
I like it.
Based on their chill factor, if they're high stressed. I don't want to say New Yorkers are, but man, they are.
Oh, we are.
I've heard about it. I've heard the rumors.
Chicagoans are pretty chill, but they'll have their friends back in a second, and they'll go from 0 to a second in no time. And then the left coast, they're totally chill, where they'll like walk across the highway and people slam on the brakes for them to get to the beach. Three totally different lifestyles. Ian, do you have a particular question maybe you'd ask someone, or just a question you just ask maybe a group of people that you're maybe you gravitate towards?
Yeah, what came to mind, it's super niche. I guess it's just some stuff we were talking about in the green room earlier, things that have been on my mind recently. If I had 2 minutes and 4 seconds just to ask like one person anything, what came to my mind was I'm in the room with Chamath Palihapitiya, and I said, hey man, I've got this deep tech startup I'm working on. Would you or someone invest in it?
That's good. That's
It's totally unrelated to the berry stuff, but yeah.
That's nice. But at least you'll make money from yours. Mine just lyrics for a song.
Fingers crossed.
No, but I also have a good one. No, but I was thinking about this. I just want to throw this your way. So a good question to ask for someone in the Novo universe or the CryptoPunk universe would be, who would win in hand-to-hand combat? 9 aliens. I'm looking at this on the screen. 24 apes or 88 zombies.
Did someone pose that as a question on Twitter or something?
No, I'm just making that. But I'm saying that's the amount. That's the number of aliens and apes and zombies.
By me, you should put that out there. I'm going to ask that. That's good. That'd be an epic poll, dude. Yeah. That is crazy.
I think, to be honest, there'd be a pretty even split between all of them, honestly. because
So many
aliens have their thing, and aliens, we don't even know what it really means to be an alien. We have no idea. We're related to some degree to apes, so we know kind of how that feels. We have like 99.8% of our DNA is ape DNA, so we have an idea. And then for zombies, I think the less sleep we get, the more we get in touch with our inner zombie. So that's the thing. I don't know. I think it'd be even though. I think it'd be pretty 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 all the way around. But I don't know.
Wow.
Just an idea.
I mean, I would go with aliens all the way just because I think their technology would just anything that's like organic.
I know what you mean. We don't know.
Zombie. Because if you have like, 38 Days Later zombie where those things, or like, World War Z where those things can like climb over walls like ants, like that's pretty scary.
It is scary, man.
Compared to like the Walking Dead ones where like, they're pulling their limbs behind them. And then apes, I mean, Planet of the Apes. I mean, there's an alternate universe where they do win in the end. So like, and maybe we are that DNA ape that needs to come through and help that side win in the end. So I don't know. I might need to go with like not the undead, not the extraterrestrial. I might personally go with the apes, I guess. That's probably my least favorite out of the three if I had to rank.
Oh, really?
Oh,
that's so interesting. That's another good poll. Like, what's your favorite of those?
Zombie
three?
all the way, for sure.
Zombie all the way. I think I used to really lean ape, but then I think zombies, they just have a little bit more variation to them, just simply because there's more of them. So it's kind of, you get a little more specialized. There's ones with like other, wearing different attributes anyways. But yeah, that's a tough one, man.
But I mean, maybe that brings us to the next question, because like I did bring it up as a poll this week, which I'll bring up in a second, but I'm clicking a couple other buttons on the top where it says the NovoVerse Paris Shilton. So those of you who are listening down there, hi TV, Anita Token knows how it works. Franelation's been on the show, knows how it works. Crypto Fisher 420. If you look on the top, there's the NovoVerse. You can actually watch live. There's a whole bunch of people watching. There's people watching on YouTube and also on Twitch. So thank everyone for watching. You can drop comments in YouTube and Twitch, and they'll pop up, and I can answer them. But I was looking at the overall market volume, of PEPE and ApeCoin, and at the time it was just right around $700 million, but now it's 615 million, 614 million. But I shouldn't say surprised, but those are two pretty big names right close to each other. I mean, that's like almost like Yuga Labs there with like the biggest meme coin in the world. And it's almost just like, who would win in that battle? Not saying there would be a win, or say, who would you trust more? I forgot the exact questioning of it, but like, it just kind of brings in, like those are two huge entities with a lot of people behind it that have a whole boatload of money in market cap. And it is kind of built off of community members. And thinking about maybe the old school PEPE memes from way back in the Web 2.0 days to now the Web 3.0 memes, which would be like Bored Apes. And that's why I posed the question, who would win in a battle? Frogs or apes, I guess it would be. And I also had, people reply back like, I'm not buying any animal coins. And I love that. That was funny as heck. But like, why buy? And that kind of maybe just leads us into Craig here, who is maybe a self-declared degen, don't want to speak for him, does chase the volume and, sometimes relies on this as a means of income. So sometimes chasing those meme coins, those animal coins can gain percentages. Then again, none of this is ever financial advice, that do pay the bills, that can keep the fan on. There's something in the States called a swamp cooler, where you get a cooler, you fill it with ice, you put a fan behind it just to cool down the house. And they do that in a lot of movie sets that people told me about, just to cool down rooms. And I laughed at it until we actually used it one time. It did cool down the room. That's besides the point. 48-hour Film Fest, native Chicago, by the way. We won it. Ian, I'll have to show you at one time. Dox myself in the film, but I'll show you one time. But maybe that just transition over to Craig. Craig, what's new in the space? We don't have to really talk about PEPE versus ApeCoin. It's very clickable stuff. That's why I put it out there, obviously. I also did put a tweet out there, and I'll pat myself on the back. I did sell a whole bunch of APE, and if you can do the math properly, I did sell it around $22 to $24 a coin.
You made the right decision.
Way back in the day. I'll pin that bad boy up in the top because that was a big fat W for me. And that was right before everything was ready to start going down. And another reason I sold it is I'm not going to lie about it. I did sell it to ETH, and I did buy some land in Yuga or whatever the land was. But that there again probably wasn't the best investment. But that's near nor there. But so all right, Craig, what's going on? If anything that you've been seeing, if you had any big wins in this week, any big losses in this week, what to look out for? Kind of seemed like last week it's just like almost anything you touched, everything was just going up because the overall volume in the market was just going up and up.
No, the market's been, well, like you said, it's sort of been like whatever you touched did go up. It just depended how high it went. I mean, Bitcoin, it had a bit of a dump before. I think it was about $267 million liquidated in longs on that. It was about a 4K Bitcoin dip, I think, happened about an hour ago. So a whole bunch of longs across the board got absolutely wiped out. But that's like we were talking last week. This is pretty standard stuff. I mean, you have a big pump like Bitcoin just had. You're going to get a pullback. They happen time and time again. This won't be the last one. There'll be loads more. So good buying opportunities. Novo, you mentioned you grabbed a few, something earlier. So these pullbacks, for me personally, I like to try and when there's a decent pullback, get into my favorite sort of altcoins, which have been doing quite well lately. Solana, just before I came on, I had a look. That's $70. That was $58 a month ago. So, I mean, still ripping. AVAX, another one. That one's looking really good. That's probably the one for me this bull run. That's going to be my baby. Solana was last one for me. I did quite well on it. Solana, this one I think will go well. But AVAX is $36 at the moment and up 60% for the week. So that's ripping. And just to dovetail off that, we're now seeing meme coins on AVAX, which if you follow me, you'll see me. I've been shilling those for probably just 2-3 days now. So a lot of volumes going to AVAX now. So what you'll notice is anytime meme coins start popping off on a chain, that particular chain will start going up quite quickly as well because of the volume. So AVAX is ripping. I think it'll keep.
What I've seen with Solana was almost the same mirrored approach where they kind of started having memes and stuff kind of coming off Solana. Then the NFTs started flowing in.
Yeah.
And with Avalanche, I think with Avalanche, it's going to be more of like gaming because they're pretty well distributed within a lot of like gaming and racing. They're like into the racing business too.
Yeah, AVAX is a good one. Like you just said, it's going to be a good gaming platform.
60% this week. That's crazy. Think of those percentages gain. You put $1 in there, you get $1.60 back.
It's actually mental. And this is what you're looking at there is even after the Bitcoin just shed itself. So like it would have been 75% an hour ago. Anyway, that doesn't matter. DOGE was up, I think 15%. Although I can see it on there now, it's about 13%. PEPE was about 16 when I had a look. So both of those are still kicking ass. It's kind of funny when you see meme coins outperforming other coins, but at the moment, what I'm seeing anyway is the more, I don't want to call them the more serious coins, but meme coins kind of taking a slight backseat to the old coins like AVAX, Solana, Immutable's another one that's been doing quite well. Ethereum's been ripping. I haven't looked at BNB for a while. Cardano's even had a bit of a pump, which makes me laugh. God, that coin annoyed me last cycle. Cosmos or Atom was good. So all those sort of bigger or mid caps now are starting to move. MATIC or Polygon was a good one for me last run, which I like. DOT was another one. All those now, you've got the big caps and then the sort of mid caps are starting to pop. So I'm gonna start looking, and maybe that's a good thing for me to chat about next week, which people might get something out of, is looking at the smaller coins that reside on those media or those mid cap chains, mid to big cap chains, because those, if you get the main token, say pump 50%, you're going to get the smaller caps within that ecosystem go 1, 2, 3, 4, 500%. They're going to be quick to dip too. Don't get me wrong. So you got to have your sort of eye on the ball. But I think that's where the real big gains are going to be, is those smaller cap coins on those mid-size chains. So AVAX is one I'm going to look at pretty in depth, which maybe I'll talk about next week with you guys. Maybe something that your listeners can, well, our listeners can really get something out of. But yeah, market's looking good, man. Looks like we're pretty close to an altcoin run. We're still sort of waiting for Bitcoin dominance to pull back a bit. I should have said fear and greed as well. Look at that.
Right up there. We're getting extreme greed.
Man.
Extreme greed. That's why we need a little bit of pullback, but pullbacks are good to lock in gains. Otherwise, if it keeps going up and up and up, then the floor falls out and everyone's sitting there at a much lower price. So it's all right. It gives people time to enter back in, people a time to reload as well. And that's what I've been looking into, like the mid caps, like Cardano, like the Avalanche, because I think the technology is within that. Like if Cardano could start branching all these chains together, then it's almost an end game. It's all incorporated into one. They can just trade sideways with no transactional fees at all. So it's cyclical, just like it was last cycle, and kind of just also where the popularity is, of the people who are tweeting and talking about it, and where they're puddle jumping to next, to staying ahead of the game. Because even like last couple episodes we had, 2-3 episodes back, we could see that there was a delay between Bitcoin going up and then almost 15-20 minutes later Ethereum would go, and then 5 minutes after that the alts would go after that. So you can almost pony up before you see that. So that's why I saw this dip coming. It could double fall, it could be a triple fall, who knows? It could be a Fibonacci retraction. I have no idea in any of this, but I saw a little dip there, and I went a little ADA on you. I went Cardano, and I know it bugged you last cycle, but
I still did it right on it. But man, that was one of those tokens. I was just waiting for the rip, and I just timed my exit poorly on it. I still made the right money, but I don't know. It just never really kicked ass, and it's kind of one of those coins now. If you talk about, people kind of laugh about it because I think people like me got a bit jaded on it. But in saying that, put emotions aside. Doesn't matter whether you love or hate the coin. If it goes up, it's cool, right? So, man, it's still a good coin. I think all of those mid caps are going to have good runs. It's interesting. This is my second bull run now. So it's kind of weird. Well, it's kind of cool in a way to be experiencing it a second time, because it reminds me so much of the first. And don't get me wrong, I could be caught massively off guard here by the market makers, but just seeing the way it flows and the way, sort of like I said last week, like the tides of the ocean, it's quite rhythmical. And once you get into flow with it, you can kind of, Nova, you mentioned before, NFTs. So now AVAX, because it's pumping, people are starting to buy AVAX NFTs, which you mentioned before. And I'm thinking it's just the playbook it's don't overthink it.
It's simple, dumb. Stay simple, dumb in it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was actually reading a tweet by D's, and he just says, it's like, someone should have told me I should have bought more Solana NFTs, because all he did is just went in there and just started buying like floor ones, like probably like 2, 3, 4 months, or whenever the time frame was, and he bought a whole bunch of them, and then now he's looking at them, and like all of them just have a 0 after it, and a bunch of them.
Did you see Mad Lads?
No, I did not. I don't have time to zero in on those, but like
240 sold at the moment each, up from 80 2 weeks ago. Absolutely ripping. Soul NFTs. I'm so angry at myself for not listening to someone. I got told, actually it was Greeny, who's obviously hungover today from his Bucks party. He was meant to be here. And he told me, yeah, he said, man, get into Mad Lads. He reckoned that that's this cycle's Bored Apes, which is that's a fucking big call, man. But so far, he's not been wrong. So if I'd taken his advice, I'd be up, I think, about $6,000 now. So that's pain. But there's another cool project on there. I think it's called Clay. It's a dinosaur one, Claysaurus or something, or Clay something. Some dinosaur play NFTs. Yeah, they're running as well. So it's kind. You know what? It's kind of cool to see other ecosystems getting maybe more serious with how the NFTs are versus, they it looked like maybe in the past there was a little bit of just slap something there and hope it flies, but it looks like there's some builders there now. So I think it's good for the space in general, and I think it's going to be good for ETH NFTs anyway. So I'm all for it.
I mean, that's first in. Know what else is good for the space is POAPs, and you can claim that POAP right now. That's right, Avery Piper, get your smile ready. Claim that POAP right now. Make a mini song out of that. It's like a little button you push. No, that's actually me singing, believe it or not. You can claim that POAP right now. You got to go down to that little button in POAP. Go ahead. I'll give you a couple seconds to get there. It's that little like add POAP or something in there. I'm pushing it myself because I always forget if it's a magic word, which is not, or a secret word, which is it might be. But you click that mint button, and it is a secret word. You can type in farm, capital FARM, farm. JR token, I already sent you one because that's how close I am with you, brother, sister, alien, ape, zombie, whatever you are behind that AR filter. So you can secret or the secret word right there. You can type in farm. That's a capital FARM. Within there that you can see, and I'll pull it up on the big screen for those of you who are watching at home. Thank you for watching. On the big screen right there, you can see, maybe you can't right now because I don't have the right one up. It has, there it is. It actually has the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, ADA, DOGE, MATIC, all the ones we pretty much talk about, plus more, and I chart them every single week. It's kind of my way of seeing where the prices are going up and down. This was yesterday's prices, so as of an hour ago, they have changed. But also a way of looking back at your POAP saying, gosh darn, I really shouldn't have done this one way or another, or not have done anything, and to sit here and learn and educate yourself on this process, because it's not financial advice. But you can claim that POAP by typing in farm. That's capital FARM. And there's a reason we're typing that in. The city farmers are here. Ian is back again. I'll probably be back on the next couple of weeks because it's a large project that I'm going to dedicate time to because it's cool. It's in my backyard and it helps others. So all three things I'm about, and I hopefully to scale it so it can help you in your backyard. Backyards plural. Even if you don't have grass there, if it's in an urban setting, that might be the perfect location for it. So claim that POAP right now. I'll give you some information about what we're going to be talking coming up here, because it does have a link to thecityfarmers.org. So you can look and learn about the Nounsbury proposal. And I'm going to get a sip of water while Ian, you do some talking here, my friend.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what is going on new, what has been the update and status since the last time we spoke. And we can thumb through and go through the Nounsbury proposal that you have sent over and shared. We can also share that at any time as well. So,
yeah, no doubt. We could play the video at any time just to give people who are watching, a refresher on what it is we've got going on, and then I could dive into the updates since then. Does that work?
That's perfect.
Cool.
All right, we'll get the video going right now. I got to click 2 buttons and make it 3. I got to pull it on the bigger screen here. Let's see, you got to move that thing. And
there we go.
Watch up above and pin it in a tweet as well. So can't see it live. Listen. Oh.
Hey, there he is.
Or some berries.
Dude, that video is so dope. Every time I watch it, it's just like so high quality. If you don't recognize the narrator in that, that is the gentleman right in front of you talking now about it, Ian.
Hello. Hey, yeah, thanks for that. And shout out to Woody, super tight Woody from Nouns for the loops we used to compose the soundtrack for that video. Yeah, shout out to Nouns just also for being a cool CC0 community. You know what I mean? Really great collaborative people. So since the last time we spoke, the Lil Nouns, we went through their governance process. They voted to actually sponsor and put the proposal on chain for us, which is really cool because we started, with a prop house round and a few $100s from the Food Nouns, right? And then Lil Nouns, their whole value proposition and whole goal as a DAO is to find talent, right? Help them develop into fund them, right? And say, hey, with a smaller scale budget, what are you going to do, right? Because some people will rug, as it turns out, right? So they funded us back for East Chicago, and we proved to them that, with about $20,000, we can do some cool things. And then we spent the past several months working with them to develop this proposal that you see here before you now. And yeah, went through the formal process of having them vote to actually sponsor it and put it on chain. Like I said earlier, everybody's a little hungover. They had a really big party at Art Basel. I know Coinbase was there, Jesse Pollack and the base team, and Pudgy, Luca Nets was there at the Lil Nouns party. So they had a really good time at Basel. So waiting on everybody to cure their hangovers so we can get this on chain and see what the broader Nouns community thinks of it. But from what I'm hearing, it's really good feedback. But got to get it on chain and have the vote actually.
We need to have some of those people on. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have some Nouns voters on. Yeah,
100%.
that'd be sick.
I feel like that would give a lot more context too. I mean, you're giving a lot of context, but it'd be really nice to hear from those folks and get a little breakdown as well of Basel, how that went. I think that'd be really nice. So let's. I'll shoot for that, and I'll help you out, Nova. I'll reach out. But Ian, I think you're the best point person here.
100%. Yeah, and they do a Twitter space on Mondays, the Lil Noun Show. So maybe we could find some time to cross over.
Yeah,
so it's just
cross the
Sunday,
streams.
Monday. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I'd be down for that. Because it's as I see up there. If you see up the well-baked plan I put up there, not like a strawberry pie. We're not baking the strawberries quite yet, but I mean the time that Ian has put into this, that I have looked through, others in my circle have looked through and just been super impressed, and like always asking Ian what's next or how can we help, and he's already has it done. It seems like, and even like stuff behind the scenes that probably don't need to be talked about now, but stuff that just keeps on popping up, just the arrows pointing in the proper direction, and claim a POEP because of it. You can just go into POEP and just type in farm with a capital FARM, and if maybe you're listening to this later, I might have a couple POEPs sitting around in either my friend tech messages, or you can pop in my Discord and get them in there. I think maybe I sent one or two to Ian as well. So if you want to reach out to Ian, we can get you guys those POEPs for listening to it. And, you have like a targeted date here of just, 0 to 100, but it's 0 to 18 months to, get these. How many plants were you trying to grow?
5,000 strawberry plants.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to say too much and then say like, oh no, it'd be a smaller number, but that was the number I was seeing there. Even to thinking going much into detail here, we see in April with, maybe adding community members to the wall. So there's other things that you can add to the community growth of it. Very similar to I see the CryptoPunks being put on the wall out there in Miami by Laurel Masna. But it was probably a wise decision to rally the troops after the big party at Art Basel. So they can really see what this proposal is going to do and how it's going to help. There's a lot of proposals, and I'm not denouncing anytime someone submits something. So I've submitted something to Decentraland, which did not pass. Very ambitious, But sometimes people, it's very self-centering when they do it. But this is very giving towards community and community members within this, from the very beginning of it to the very end, from who's growing them and to where they're being distributed towards.
Ian, I have a question. Oh yeah, sorry, you can say something.
No, please, no, go ahead.
I am admittedly ignorant, I feel like, to part of this project, and maybe this is mentioned in the words that Novo is scrolling through here. But why a strawberry plant, if this is mentioned? Like, what's the context around the use of that? And then I also had just a numbers question, which is, you said 5,000 strawberry plants, which seems like a lot and is amazing.
Yep.
How much does a strawberry plant produce? Like, how many strawberries? This is just two separate questions. How many strawberries is made from a strawberry plant, and also why strawberries themselves?
Yeah, so just to get the simple math question out of the way, a strawberry plant, you can get about 3 harvests on average in the life of the plant. The first harvest is a little skinny and about 3/4 of a pound, maybe 1.25 pounds if you're really doing amazing. And then that second and third harvest tend to be closer to 2, even 3 pounds, right?
Whoa.
So across the life of the first harvest that we're paying for with this proposal, we can get about 6 tons from the 5,000 plants.
Wow.
Why berries and why 5,000 plants? Well, why not do something a bit ambitious, right? So, hey, you're right. I mean, if we're going to build media around this thing and really tell a story and seek to make food a public good and feed the world, why not start at least kind of big, right? So that's why 5,000 plants. And with strawberries, there's a number of factors. On the one hand, it's just the positive associations that people have with berries, right? This methodology has been studied for about 15 years in Japan, the vertical way that we're growing the plants. Strawberries need a little bit more research to really be fully developed, but they're pretty close. But a lot of studies have been done, and fruit and berries in particular just have the most positive emotions associated with them. People think about summertime, they think about warmth, they think about time spent with friends and picnics. All of these things come up with berries, whereas, kale or lettuce or basil, which we could grow and we could grow quickly and we can make revenue very quickly off these things, but it's crunchy water leaf at the end of the day, right? It's just not that fun. So if we're a nonprofit, we're a research and development organization. We're partnering with universities and with the United States Department of Agriculture to develop these things. But with the charity part, right, we also want to inspire people and have a real impact. And the other reason for berries, Driscoll's, they're the biggest berry company in the world, right? They grow berries in about 19 countries and sell them in 30 something. In the 1950s, they created the Berry Institute. And what they did is they researched and bred berries to travel long distances and look pretty, right? But that's the reason why berries don't have that much flavor or that much nutrition, when you buy them out of season, etc. We really have a vision in partnering with the Public Health Institute, in partnering with the Department of Agriculture, in partnering with the research universities here in the Midwest, that we can create a new berry institute, right? And instead focus on how do we grow berries locally, how do we grow berries year round, and how do we grow them to be as nutritious and flavorful as possible, and really create a new paradigm, right? And pardon the language, but we might just fuck around and find out that we've made the new Driscoll's in a few years, but who knows, right? But the goal is start with $250,000 here from Nouns, have a pretty sweet demonstration facility in a warehouse and show people that we can do this thing and tell some really good stories and fundraise from there. So
amazing.
Yeah.
True or not, you can't really, there's no vertical way of growing blueberries, right? So if you find a way of internally growing blueberries, that might revolutionize an industry, because right now you need to have the right water conditions for blueberries and cranberries, correct? From what I've learned from being around you, my friend.
Yeah, 100%. So berries on average and blueberries in particular, cranberries are like a whole, they need massive, that's a whole, so blueberries and strawberries and stuff, right? They're like a 40% cost of good product on average. So if you go to the store and you pay $6 for a pint of berries, $2 of that was just them shipping it from the farm to the grocery store, right? That's how far these things are shipped and how much time they spent just being moved around. It's pretty ridiculous. We really believe that by growing these things locally, by growing them in, let's say, the commercial real estate space that's opening up across America's cities and all these towers. Chicago has 30,000 vacant plots of land that are owned by the city of Chicago. We really think we could reduce the travel times to less than 15 minutes and reduce that cost of goods to less than 10%, which means we can bring down the price of berries, bring up their value in terms of nutrition and flavor, and still make more money than our competitors. But it's a few years of research and development to make this happen, but this really is what we believe to be possible.
It is possible. You will do it. Let me see. You can look at the website, which I'll pin right up here on the top. And I'll also have Ian's contact information as well through Twitter if you want to help out, if you have any questions. And I agree, AP, let's try to get some of these members from the nouns, the little nouns. Like maybe we can get Gardley on from like the little nouns and just kind of like talk about how the process goes for one proposal to get passed and a little nouns to be submitted to a larger one, and just kind of like the DAO proposal process with it, and seeing kind of what heavy hitters maybe we can get that are voting and could show how to vote or how to navigate this space for a good cause, and kind of just be the media outlet for good causes for exactly like this. I think that would be very easy for us to do and accomplish between now and next Sunday. And then on top of it, AP, you can ask those individuals a question that lasts 2 minutes and 4 seconds long.
I would love
you know, even if it is the best outcome that you see for city farmers in 18 months. Are you voting yes? Since you have votes, you know, are you going to vote yes for city farmers? Yes or no? Maybe you can just put them on the spot, like, someone in the news, an investigative reporter in the news asking politicians tough questions right on the spot. But I think that would be cool because there again, you can learn about it. And it's just good content that's out there, and it could show people in the space. It's more than just PFPs with different animals on it. It's more than just meme coins that are hot for that second. There is factors behind it that can help within the space, and comes from centralized communities like DAOs that are trying to give back, and people like Ian who know how to network and resource and allocate those resources to help others. So as I see, it's like trading up in the world, but Ian has found a DAO that was able to give him $500, and he keeps on trading it up to invest in the future of what he believes in. So props to that, and props if you want one of those POAPs too, because you can, on that POAP, there's a clickable link. You can learn more about the city farmers. It also has the up-to-date information on most of the coins that Craig talks about, so we can keep tracking that every week. And we'll have to add something in there for 2 and 4, maybe like a question of the week, almost like a fortune cookie, maybe like a rhetorical question. You know, if a tree falls in the woods and does someone hear it or something along those lines? Well, the worms hear it. I don't know. Someone's got to hear something, but tons of great listeners down there from Nita listening all the time. Leonardo, as well, tuning back in. Fisher, thank you for listening. Mr. MK Nico as well. Thanks for swinging in there. Always Hugo, I'm following you now, Daddy's girl. Why not? We got to teach our future, the future society what's up, and we're just talking about fun things in the space. Anything else for the good of the order, my friends? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Any questions for each other? Craig, how hot is it there? Like in context, you're going to say it in not degrees here in Chicago, but I mean, is it like freaking hot?
It'd be like 34. 34 feels. 30,
That's about
30.
what it is in Chicago, except Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's 34
Yeah.
here in Chicago and Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? Anyone got a calculator? I don't know that math anymore. It's not that high school math calculation.
34.
Multiply by something plus 9 or something like that, right?
That helps. Yeah.
Is that the formula?
I got no idea.
Yeah. Me neither.
I'm good
Let
at
me ask
numbers, but
Grok.
I'm like, oh.
Hey, are you guys using Grok?
No.
new
Have you
AI?
messed with it?
There.
I'm tempted.
It's smart.
Is it cool?
It's smart. It reminds me of when GPT-4 was good. I'm about to cancel my OpenAI subscription.
You're joking.
Once I'm dead serious. They don't have your chat history and things unlocked yet, and it's not multimodal yet.
Okay.
But just so I use GPT a lot for drafting legal documents. And Novo, this is actually something we should talk about. We did the ETH Chicago conference this past year, the first one. And we're looking on structuring like a 501c6, which is like a trade members organization where, you know, local companies and even bigger companies can pay membership fees, but those membership fees are what make conferences and networking events happen. And I was using it to draft the bylaws, and I was like, oh, wow, this is like when GPT-4 was good, like nice. So, yeah.
How has GPT-4 changed for you? When you say when it was good and nice, what do you mean?
It's lazy now. I have to constantly remind it again of the formatting that I've asked for.
Okay, so it doesn't have context of your previous
yeah,
conversation.
it's
That's
like
interesting.
Yeah, it's either losing the context, either willfully or unintentionally. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
You know, but when I tell it, hey, format it with numbered sections and subsections, and then it starts lettering them or bulleting them instead of numbers, you know, things like that. I'm like, hey, why'd you know what I mean?
So you start asking, why are you doing this? Yeah.
Yeah, but then I don't want to spend time having to ask
For
why.
sure.
You know, I just put the work, you know?
Dude, this is AI problems. That's so
fascinating. Did you have to sign up for premium for that?
Yeah,
you need Premium Plus.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, boys, look at that. 235 viewers watching the NovoVerse right now. So
cool.
That's some range. Oh, maybe that was last week. Sorry, that was last week. Sorry, I lied.
Just us 4 this week.
8. I don't know. It might not be that lot, so let's not get our hopes up. Probably shouldn't have said anything. That's
no, we're good. We got viewers. Grok's viewing. What's up, Grok?
Yeah, Grok's always watching, right?
Yeah, Grok's smart.
So you signed up for premium to get the Gronk, huh?
Yes, I did. I just at least wanted to try it out for a month, and yeah, it's been really great so far.
Wow.
Like I said,
I haven't heard that take, which is really interesting. Like I think I need to get more hands-on with it because I have the chat, whatever, GPT 3.5 is the free one. I mess with that all the time because it's like a mirror. Like you just give it things and you ask it to rearrange things, and it helps you give context even to yourself and to your own writing and make things concise and all of that stuff. Reword it, make yourself sound smarter. But Grok sounds like it's more tactical for you. We gotta maybe we can do that live or something, Novo. I have a lot of ideas right now, but I feel like we can mess with Grok live or something. We can put 2 and 2. We can face them against each other or something. We can have them both solve an issue and see which one gets to the crux of it faster.
I'd love to have a conversation with you guys sometimes about the power of these LLMs for legal documents. Novo, you could dive in sometime to the City Farmers Google Drive. There's about 46 legal documents in there. I mean, I drafted like 18 pages of bylaws, like a 13-page conflict of interest policy, and I was prompting it and telling it, use formal legal language as if these documents were for a Fortune 10 corporation. And you'd be really shocked at, what these things can spit out. Because these documents have then been put in front of a lawyer. And,
wait. If you're saying no compete clause, I don't want a no complete clause. I want to be able to grow schnozberries. Schnozberries taste like schnozberries. I want to be able to legally grow schnozberries. So if that's a compete and Driscoll doesn't want me to grow schnozberries, I'm out.
Right.
just joking. Here to help. But no, that's what it does. And it helps, I would never be able to do that, but maybe with the help of learning how to format something like to do that. AP, who you should bring in on that is Tan.
100%. I think he's the one who we both know who probably uses it the most, at least, or is more of a, he's a tactical person around using those things. And he also makes content a little bit. about
Using
those.
this.
So we should. I agree with you, Novo. That'll be the first thing. First person I'll reach out to tonight.
Because I would almost love to use Gronk to almost find my prior content that is just lost to the archives.
Oh, that's
Like,
interesting.
I have a hard time just going back, like, and like I guess you could probably search it by date or something. I just don't know how to do that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember I would reach out to friends, just like, how do you search for this or that? Because I don't even know how to do it in Discord. And then all of a sudden, I was flipping through like past Discords. It's just like I was like looking at conversations between like Franksy and I, and like G Money, and like John and Matt from like CryptoPunks. It's like, one, how dumb are the questions I was asking these brilliant people.
Yeah.
And two, how like super nice they were about this, like anything I had to ask, and almost how promptly they responded back, you know?
No, but your dumb questions got you a CryptoPunk. So I feel like they can't be that dumb.
You're right.
True.
You're right.
Honestly, I think everybody's dumb. Everybody is dumb right now. We're going to look back at this video and be like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, man. That's the beautiful thing about this whole journey, I think, is the looking back and seeing how dumb you are and how perhaps less dumb you are in the present moment, but in the future still dumb, right? It's weird. It's cool.
We'll look back at episode 195. Yeah, I did go back and pretty much count them. I don't know what I'll do for episode 200. Probably give a bunch of wearables away for free.
Yeah.
We'll find
200 ETH giveaway. No, I'm just kidding.
If someone donates me 1,000 ETH, I'll give 200 away for free.
Yeah, there we go.
That's Mr. Big's motto, right? Or not Mr. Big, Mr. Beast's motto. You know,
Mr. Beast.
Get paid 10 million episode, give 2 million away for free. Keep 8, but drill wells for other people. So I love that, guy. So keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep on keeping on with you guys. We'll have the same crew back next week. Our show, we're going to try to get some of our friends from Nouns in here and kind of see how the proposal. It's an education process through all of this, which makes it the fun aspect of it. And we'll
wear suits.
We'll get Greeny. Everyone DM Greeny. He's hungover today. He's what do you call bachelor parties down there? What are they called? Craig, what do they call the bachelor parties down there? What kind of party was he at?
A stag do.
A stag do?
Yeah, stag do, or stag do. Like I guess a stag, like a mate. What's that? Male deer.
Yeah.
Stag do, or otherwise just a good time.
I thought it was like another name for like a bachelorette party, like
bachelorette.
Married. Like one of his friends is getting married or something. All right.
Yeah, Greeny, his Bucks party.
There you call it. That's fascinating.
Bucks party. Yeah. Yeah, I hate those, man. Mine was a nightmare. I'm glad I hope I never have to have another one of those. So yeah, I'm gonna stay married because Jesus.
Yeah.
Especially in the heat, probably sucked all the water right out of him. I'm thirsty thinking about him. I got water in my. Feel like I got sand in my mouth thinking about him. Ian, thank you for all that you're doing in the space. AP, I love the aspect of the 2 and the 4 podcast. It is actually a podcast that I'd be happy to be on anytime. Anyone listening down there wants to be on a podcast, it takes 2 minutes and 4 seconds of your time. You see Avery Piper down there listening. His PFP is sideways on purpose. Thinking with him. Actually, Crypto Fisher 420, you're sporting some Nouns glasses on your fish head down there. You should get in contact. Maybe just pull yourself on the show for next week. There's
anybody who wants to shill their stuff, feel free to do it on my podcast.
Yes. If you want to shill, hop on the podcast. We'll get it out there. Craig, thanks for the advice on the meme coins for the week. Ian, keep on keeping on. I'm going to have some outro music here. This is from I Am 6. The build is the NovoVerse in Decentraland by Mr. Dingia. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome Sunday fun day. I went to the Blackhawks game yesterday, went to the Bears game today with my son. I'm very blessed to get out and do these things. So
23, 69. 23, 69. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We in the NovoVerse. in the NovoVerse. We in the NovoVerse, in the NovoVerse. It's lit in the NovoVerse, in the NovoVerse. NFTs in the NovoVerse, the NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse. NovoVerse. We are in the NovoVerse.
Got sponsored, yeah.
NovoVerse.
Yeah, I think my gas correct. Yeah. Have fun. That's me. Stay positive. Love life.
Peace.
Peace out.